Alright, in this video we're going to take a look at using the unit circle to evaluate some trig equations. We're going to start by trying to find the sine of pi. You'll notice on the right I have pasted in a copy of the unit circle, and pi is right here on the x-axis. It's right over here. So with this pi value, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the coordinate pair that goes with it. Remember, the coordinate pairs will not just tell us x comma y, but they'll actually tell us cosine comma sine, and that should be everything we need to know to evaluate. So to find the sine of pi, I just have to look at the the y value of the coordinate pair right here. So the sine of pi is just 0. To find the cosine of pi over 3, I'm going to find pi over 3 on my unit circle. Here it is. I'll look at my x, y coordinates right here, and the cosine is the x value, which is 1/2. To find the sine of 210 degrees, I will find 210 on my unit circle, which is right over here. And I will look at the coordinate pair that goes with it, this guy right here. And the sine is the y value, that's -1/2. And last up is the cosine of 315 degrees, which is, it's not on this unit circle. But 315 degrees is the 45-degree angle that happens right here. That's 315 degrees. Remember, the coordinate pairs that happen at the 45-degree angles are always square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. And in this quadrant, the x values are positive and the y values are negative. So this would be negative square root of 2 over 2. So the cosine would be the x value right here, square root of 2 over 2. And that's all done. Let's take a look at the next section, which is asking us to find the tangent. So use the unit circle to find the tangent of the following angles. Let's start with pi again. So we were just at pi earlier. Here's pi right here. We have cosine comma sine. I'll write it again. But this time we need to find the tangent. To find the tangent, we need to do sine divided by cosine. So I need the sine of pi. Let's see what the sine of pi is. The sine of pi is that y value, 0. The cosine is going to be -1. So the sine is 0, the cosine is -1. 0 divided by anything is 0. So 0 divided by -1 is just 0. Let's try pi over 4. Now pi over 4 doesn't exist on this unit circle because I picked a bad one, but it would be right here. That's our 45-degree angle, and remember those numbers are just 2's. So square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, so we can find this one pretty easily. All we have to do is take the sine value, which is the x value over here on the right, divided by the cosine value. So that's square root of 2 over 2 divided by the square root of 2 over 2. And that's the same thing divided by itself, which simplifies to the number 1. Let's take a look at 5 pi over 6. That's on our unit circle right here. So this is 5 pi over 6, and we have the coordinate pair for it right here. We're going to find the tangent, so we're going to put the 1/2 on top of the -3/2. So we're going to have 1/2 divided by -√3 over 2. Now this one we actually have to do some dividing fractions, but to divide fractions all we have to do is keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 1/2, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the other guy upside down, 2 over -√3. Now when that happens, these 2's will cancel, and our answer is going to be -1 over the square root of 3. It doesn't matter where the negative goes. It can go in front or on top. It's just kind of improper to keep it on the bottom. This answer, -1 over the square root of 3, is almost done, but it does have to be rationalized, which means I'm going to have to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root that I don't want. So my final answer is going to be -1 times the square root of 3, which is just √3, divided by the square root of 3 times itself, which is the square root of 9, which just equals the number 3. So this would be the final answer for that one there. For 0 degrees, that's over here on our unit circle, 0 degrees. The coordinate pair is over here, 1, 0. So we're going to take the y value, 0, and divide it by the x value, 1. So 0 divided by 1 is just 0. We're good to go there. 300 degrees is down here on our unit circle, 300 degrees. Here's the xy pair. The y value is going to go on top, so -√3 over 2 divided by the cosine, which is 1/2. Again, we can keep, change, flip. So keep the top the same, -√3 over 2, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the other fraction upside down. Again, my 2's will cancel, and this time we don't have to do any more simplifying because it's just the negative square root of 3 divided by 1, which is just the negative square root of 3. So that one's all done. For 60 degrees, that's up here on my unit circle, right over here, 60 degrees. This is the coordinate pair. So we're going to take that root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. So that's the square root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Again, we can keep change flip. You'll notice it looks a lot like the top one, except the 3 over 2 is not negative. So square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. The 2's will cancel, and we end up with just the square root of 3. So this one's almost the same, but it's positive. We have one last value to find, and that's for 270. That's this guy right down here on the y-axis. This is the coordinate pair, 0, -1. So we're going to put the -1 sine value on top and the 0 cosine value on bottom. And this is where we break math. We are not allowed to divide by 0. And since we can't divide by 0, we're going to call this one undefined. And that one is all done. In the next video, we'll be finding some amplitudes, periods, and vertical shifts, and then we'll start graphing.